I say time, you say come. Time.
Time come for young people. Time come for move Andrew out of power.
Let the people go.
The line stop here. The game done. Time come.
So when them cutting ribbon over hospital with them paint up, we're going to cut hernias. We're going to cut fibroids, cancers.
Don't believe in me. I'm not Jesus. Believe with me. That better can come with Mark Golding as Prime Minister. The dreams you dream today will be the reality he creates tomorrow.
The people of Jamaica are ready for change. Everywhere I go, I see the wind of change blowing.
Somebody asks me, Perry, why aren't you a labourite? Me ever fresh, me not green.
No, we say one blood and comrade victory.
We are going to Jamaica House. We are rescuing Jamaica, and Mark Golding will be the next Prime Minister.
Power to the people. Power to the people. A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also.
A blessed good day to you, my wisdom warriors. Wagwan. I hope you guys are in good spirit. My wisdom warriors, when I look in at the paper, at this me buck up in. Una remember how the little dirty stinking girl them pan election day plan up and gang up and tell lie pan Norman Scott? Well, the JCF now come out and charge Norman Scott. For what? That me wouldn't like to know. These people lie pan the man. The man never touch none of them. Jamaica, the man never touch none of them. And then tell lie pan the man. Remember say, you know, the girl up in the man face, you know. The dirty bitch up in the girl face. And the man never touch her. The man never touch her, you understand? And them come out and tell lie. And now JCF, but them a charge Norman Scott for what? What did Norman Scott did? He never touched the woman. But you know see, uno JCF, uno cannot be trusted because look what uno do. Look what Kevin Blake do to Cameron. Look what Kevin Blake do to the police officer. Jamaica, we in a trouble, you know? Because now them a plan up now for text set pan PNP for PNP look bad. And that them plan for the, you know. The man never touch none of them, Jamaica. The man never touch the woman. The woman tell lie. How the man box her and she have headache. When nothing no go like that. So when Mr. JCF come out and do these things, them are wicked. The whole of them are wicked. The whole of them are wicked. You see? A dictatorship are going right now, you know. I'm sorry for you, because if them a turn pan the ministers, them, what them a go do to uno the people? That me want to know. And I am calling on the PNP supporters. Uno need to go out and demonstrate. When you see things like that, uno need to go out and support uno ministers. Because when nothing happen to uno, when Andrew Wallace ready for thief uno land, when Andrew Wallace ready for do all type of things, Mark Golding them always have uno back. So uno need to stand up for uno ministers, because the man never do such thing. And we can see now that JCF is not credible. We can see that from what Kevin Blake did to that man. Hey, a pure dictatorship are going, you know. Mighty God of Daniel, me no know where Bruce Golding bring Andrew Wallace come in our parliament come do. I don't know, Bruce Golding, we blame you. We have you up for that. We have you up. Because from this criminal coming in a pure problem. Pure problem. Anyway, my people, we're moving on because me have a hotter class for Japan. Oh no. Then uno no know say Ruel Reid trial is starting on the 6th of October. Uno can stay there. Hear this. Former Education Minister Ruel Reid, his wife Sharon, their daughter Cheryl, ex-CMU President Professor Fritz Pinnock, and JLP Councillor Kim Brown Lawrence are set to face trial on October the 6th. They've been charged with several offences, including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in public office, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. Jamaica hear that one, that one the big one now, you know. Prosecutors allege that nearly 50 million Jamaican dollar was diverted from the Caribbean Maritime University. Wanna hear that? 50 million of taxpayer money, Jamaica. 50 million of taxpayer money diverted from the Caribbean Maritime University, which them call the CMU. My people, and the JLP counselor, she named Kim Brown Lawrence. She is a part of it. She is a part of it. Take a look at the screen, Wisdom Warriors, sent on Jamaica. Those still facing fraud and corruption charges, Kim Brown Lawrence says she has no doubt that she will be able to hold on to the Brownstone division in St. Anne's for the Jamaica Labour Party. She has been under investigation by the Integrity Commission, IC, since 2019 due to her involvement in the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU fraud probe. It is alleged that she received and used CMU funds to fix road in her constituency. She was arrested and charged in October 2019 during an early morning raid of her house. At the nomination center on Thursday, Brown Lawrence insisted that the charges were trumped up. I've not been convicted. I don't follow propaganda. You hear what she has said, my people? That girl I want to lie, you know, Mr. She tell a piece of lie per IC, my Wisdom Warriors. She go as far and say the IC free her. When nothing never go like that. You don't remember when me did talk about it? I talk about this in 2024, early 2024 and late 2023. You don't remember Jamaica? Mighty God of Daniel, Mr. Da girl, I want wicked girl. She wicked. Here I know. I've not been convicted. I don't follow propaganda. There is no need to follow propaganda. Just follow my page instead of the news. It's all propaganda. She said it is all propaganda. Then if it is all propaganda, my Wisdom Warriors, bear in mind, this was in 2024. Yeah? This report was in 2024. So bear in mind, my people, right now, today, it just come out in the news that on October the 6th, Ruel Reid and his wife and his pitney, them trial start the 6th of October. Them trial start the 6th of October, Jamaica. See them, my people, her name is right there. It's a former education minister, Ruel Reid, his wife Sharon, their daughter Cheryl, ex-CMU President Professor Fritz Pinnock, and JLP Councillor Kim Brown Lawrence are set to face trial on October the 6th. They've been charged, listen Jamaica, listen, they've been charged with several offences, include breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in public office, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. Prosecutors allege that nearly 50 million Jamaican dollar taxpayer money was diverted from the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU. Una hear that, Jamaica? Una hear that? So when una hear it all the time I talk say, the labor right them a thief, the labor right them a criminal, the labor right, Believe Jamaica, believe. My Wisdom Warriors, I want to have a good understanding about the Ruel Reid case. So I go bring you down memory lane. Take a listen to this.
Sean Brown with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. Former Education Minister Ruel Reid and his 4 co-accused were granted bail when they appeared in the Corporate Area Criminal Court this morning. They were yesterday charged with breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in a public office at common law, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. Now our reporter Andrea Chisholm was in court this morning and now joins us via phone with the latest. Andrea.
Thank you very much, Vashton. Well, as expected, quite a number of individuals were in court today for this high-profile case. Ruel Reid, former Education Minister, and Professor Fritz Pinnock, the president of the Caribbean Maritime University, both of them entered the courtroom at about 10:15 in rather good enough spirit. They waved at some of us in the media section, and they also waved and smiled to some persons in the courtroom. The attorneys representing the individuals, for example, Hugh Wildman is representing, Attorney Hugh Wildman, he's representing Professor Pinnock. Christopher Townsend is representing the councillor, Kim Brown Lawrence, and Carolyn Chuck is representing Ruel Reid, Sharon Reid, and Cheryl Reid. It was the first to mention this, and Hugh Wildman was pretty colorful in his remarks when he started. He actually said that this case sounds like a big gun without a bullet, because he's expecting that after what happened yesterday with the raids and everything, he thought that he would have seen statements to substantiate the allegations that he outlined earlier. Nonetheless, Vashon, the judge, Senior Parish Judge Vaughan Smith, he granted Mr. Reid bail in the sum of $3 million, Sharon Reid $1 million, Cheryl Reid $500,000, and Professor Pinnock, he got bail in the sum of $2 million. And for the councillor Kim Brown Lawrence, she got bail in the sum of $1 million. All individuals are required to report to different police stations between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. They've all been ordered to surrender their travel documents to the police. A stop order will be imposed, and they were told not to be seen at the Caribbean Maritime University or the Ministry of Education. And they were also ordered to have their fingerprints given to the police. So for now, that's the update we have, and they should all reappear in court for the next mention date, which is January 23, 2020. Vashon?
Thank you very much, Andrea. And no doubt we'll have more from Andrea Chisholm in Primetime News at 7 on this matter. And still on this issue, concerns this afternoon as to whether the case being brought against former Education Minister, the CMU President, and their co-accused will falter. This as questions are now being raised about the amount of information in the public domain. The matter was discussed on TVJ's All Angles last night.
The investigations into the misappropriation of public funds involving former Education Minister Ruel Reid and the CMU were first raised at the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAAC. For several weeks, the issue was discussed and persons involved brought before the committee for questioning. Fast forward a few months later, and reservations are being made regarding the level of information that was divulged through the PAAC and how the media handled the information.
I was very concerned about some things that were highlighted, and I expect them to do their job, but I was also concerned about the media, where persons who were deemed to be witnesses, potential witnesses, were giving interviews. Now that I found alarming, because that evidence, if it is evidence, if they come to court, can be challenged based on utterances made and so on and so forth. That being in the public domain was regrettable.
Attorney at law Clive Mullings says from the media standpoint, based on the nature of the case and who it involved, guidance was needed.
We know the need to get the scoop, and of course the tension and the competition in media. But they have to be made aware of the processes. It's important, for instance, if someone is a potential witness, my view is it should be hands off. Why? Because if you find that you go ahead, you interview this person, you get details, you can jeopardize something else. And you weigh the public interest as against the interest of having a fair trial. And that is something that we need to be aware of. Because while we speak of a fair trial and the constitutional right to a fair trial, someone can raise that issue in a trial and say, listen, I cannot get a fair trial based on the things that have happened, the pre-trial publicity.
But for human rights advocate Susan Goff, the public had a right to know what was transpiring.
Too often we have seen instances where there have been issues that needed thorough investigation, that needed something to happen. And we wait and they sort of fade away, disappear, nothing happens. So there is a lack of trust in the system that needs to be understood.
In responding to the question, should the public be made aware of investigations that are happening, former Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions Carolyn Hay says it has to do with the who and what.
If you're talking about allegations of the misappropriation of public funds as a public issue, there's public interest in knowing that state agencies are directing resources towards investigating with a potential view to charging for criminal conduct persons who are in high position or persons who are in positions of influence or power in society. So in a sense, there's value in knowing about the existence of an investigation. And it's important. And arguably, it could be in some sense more important than if you're investigating stealing Aki, because it's not that the crime is any different. It is the personalities that are engaged that are different. The expectations on them are higher because of the levels of trust reposed in them.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, the PNP said the arrests of Ruel Reid and Professor Fritz Pinnock is a significant first step in efforts to clean up corruption. TVJ News caught up with opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips in Clarendon, who said the latest development is just a start in dealing with corruption.
A start has been made, but there's much more that needs to be done. We haven't heard anything about the Petrojam situation, for example, which existed long before we heard about the problems at CMU. So we are expecting the FID, MOCA, and the police force to do their job.
He dismissed suggestions that the police acted yesterday because of pressure from the opposition.
I have no evidence of that. I believe that there long ago it was evident to any well-thinking citizen in the country that abuses of public funds had taken place. It's the duty of the security forces, the investigative arms of government to investigate. We have been calling for a very long time. They ignored us, so they have come out now, and I am happy that they have done something finally.
My wisdom warriors, wanna see this time when all this take place, wanna didn't know say Andrew Holness was the Prime Minister in 2018? Wanna didn't know that? May people take a look at this. Andrew Holness was not the Minister of Education in 2018. He was the Prime Minister of Jamaica at that time, and the Minister of Education in 2018 was Senator Ruel Reid. In 2018, Andrew Holness was serving as the Prime Minister of Jamaica. The Minister of Education during the period was Senator Ruel Reid. Jamaica, anywhere Andrew Holness go, thiefness happy did. Anywhere Andrew Holness go, thiefing happy did Jamaica. Uno no see? Uno no see? Mighty God of Daniel. Mighty God of Daniel. All this take place underneath Andrew Holness watch when Andrew Holness was a Prime Minister. This no look good at all, at all, at all. This no look good. But anyway, my people, we're moving on. Take a listen to this.
Mr. Ruel Reid and CMU President Professor Fritz Pinnock will continue to face the court on fraud-related charges following today's ruling by the Supreme Court.
Chief Justice Brian Sykes has refused an application for leave for judicial review, basically sending the men back to the parish court. Details of the 32-page ruling in this report.
Ruel Reid and Professor Fritz Pinnock went to the High Court requesting leave to challenge the authority's decision to charge them. Put another way, they wanted to quash the fraud-related charges in the multi-million-dollar corruption case involving the Caribbean Maritime University CMU and the Education Ministry. Through their attorneys led by Hugh Wildman, both men argued that the Financial Investigations Division FID is purely an investigative body, and it does not have the power to arrest and charge anyone. Chief Justice Brian Sykes agreed. He went on to say, however, that it was officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force that arrested Pinnock and Reid. Interestingly, though, the Chief Justice pointed out that those police officers are not designated under Section 2 of the FID Act, and if they used any unauthorized powers, it might raise admissibility issues which can be addressed during a criminal trial. Lawyers for Reid and Pinnock also argued that the fiat granted to attorneys Richard Small and Sherry Lee Bolton was invalid. The Chief Justice pointed out that the Director of Public Prosecutions is authorized to grant fiats to attorneys to prosecute a criminal matter. Plus, it was the lawyers that got the fiat, not the FID. In conclusion, Brian Sykes ruled that lawyers representing Reid and Pinnock cited no exceptionally good reason, and so there's no factual basis for granting a judicial review. Dr. Fritz Pinnock, Counselor for the Brownstown Division Kim Brown Lawrence, Ruel Reid, his wife Sharon and daughter Sharel are scheduled to return to the St. Andrew Parish Court on January 23. Investigators claim that over $56 million was diverted from the CMU and Education Ministry for personal use.
All right, so Andrea just spoke about what the defense attorney said in court, but what are the other responses from the defense attorneys? Well, here's TVJ's Anthony Lugg, who spoke with 2 other lawyers.
It's almost 3 months until January 23, the day before Reid and his 4 co-accused reappear in court. It may seem a distant time, but for the attorneys representing the accused persons, every day counts in the effort to prove their client's innocence. The court was told on Thursday that there were WhatsApp conversations between Reid and Pinnock discussing payments of funds that were allegedly defrauded. The prosecution will be using that along with other evidence in an effort to secure convictions. We put the issue to Hugh Wildman, the attorney representing Professor Fritz Pinnock.
If they had evidence that Mr. Reid and Professor Pinnock were communicating by WhatsApp or by phone, given the length of time that they had to do this operation, they would have, a proper investigator would have had that information to confront him with it yesterday and say, look here, these are text messages that we get from this phone. Can you speak to it? Nothing was done like that.
When asked if he was speaking prematurely, given the fact disclosures have not been made, this was his response.
Because he was subjected to a lengthy question and answer, if they had done their work and had that information, the law is that he should have been confronted with it.
His client, Professor Fritz Pinnock, was taken from his home in Helsha, St. Catherine on Wednesday after the police swooped down on the property. Mr. Wildman raised issue with how it was done.
From my vast experience in these matters, it is not usually done this way. The persons are well known who can be easily got. You could have invited them to the station and do the necessary things and have them charged if you need to do that. But to have done it this way, this Gestapo type operation, it clearly shows malice and evil intent. The warrant must say exactly what it is that you intend to do. And when you look at this particular warrant, they took things from the warrant, from the house, that were not covered under the warrant.
Mr. Wildman also argued that the operation was carried out in an order to meet the political aspirations of some persons. He was asked who.
I think the people of Jamaica are sufficiently intelligent to come to that conclusion.
Meanwhile, attorney Christopher Towson, representing counsel for the Brownstone Division, Kim Brown Lawrence, also spoke with our news team.
She was, of course, distraught yesterday. They came in, her 6-year-old twins. They were frightened out of their sleep, men blazing into the home, guns out. That would have been a frightening experience for her children. So she was very, very concerned about that.
So, the attorneys have questioned the process, what influenced the arrests, along with the lack of evidence presented thus far. The allegations outlined are that all 5 participated in a scheme which defrauded the state of approximately $56 million.
And that's why I'm saying we'd like to see the evidence. Just come and read out something from information. It's not good enough. You had over a year to compile your case. One would have expected that when you come today, you'd have had even some basic statements to say, look here, we have a statement from John Brown to say that you did this or you did that. Up to now, nothing like that.
Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
My wisdom warriors, I left it. Wanna tell me what you think, wanna tell me how you feel about this, and put on an honest opinion in the comment section. Like up the video, share it out, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're new to my channel, welcome and big up on a nice clean self. One love.